Investing is a fascinating business. Originally published on August 30th, 2016. Okay, so which of the Sloth Investor's 5 bedrock principles does this article connect to? On this occasion, there are 3 bedrock principles that we can make connections to. They are simplicity, time, and headstrong. I'll begin now with key extracts from the article. Let's begin with a piece of advice from Morgan Housel that is extremely sloth-like in its character. Once you hear it, I'm confident that you'll be able to make the connection between his wise words of wisdom and the inactive nature of a sloth. Housel states, "Don't do anything" is the best advice for most people most of the time, but it's not intellectually stimulating enough for many people to take seriously. Most fields have a positive correlation between effort and results. Investing is one of few where the correlation is negative, especially for amateurs. The higher your IQ is, the harder it is to accept this. Okay, so let's move on to what Morgan Housel has to say about time, the 4th bedrock principle of the sloth investor. We live in an age that is increasingly defined by the need for speed, but Housel has some fine words to say on this point. In the article, he states, "Most investing mistakes and frustrations come from trying to run a marathon in an hour. Diversified investing is so simple. Companies earn profits, and over a long period of time, those profits accrue to shareholders. If you leave it at that, and you should, investing is such a basic game that doesn't require much action. But instead of letting profits accrue over time, a lot of the investment industry attempts to speed up the process by front-loading gains into shorter periods. This is done by guessing what other investors will do next and trying to get ahead of them. It's 1,000,000,000 times harder than true investing, and it's a cause of most investment mistakes. Alas, it's too potentially lucrative for many to pass up." I'm fond of the final extract that I'm about to share because of the connection to investor psychology. Morgan Housel writes wisely about how investors can gain an edge by remaining patient and maintaining control of their emotions. It links ever so nicely to my 5th bedrock principle of being headstrong. In the extract, he states, "No one is smarter than the collective intelligence of millions of other investors. Some, however, are a little more patient and less emotional. That's where the potential for edge is found." 30 years ago, investing was mostly an analytical game because information was scarce and computers weren't scouring the world for mispriced assets. That's changed. Most analytical opportunity has now been fully exploited, but there's still huge opportunity to gain an edge over most investors through patience and good behavior. From this article, there are clearly 3 bedrock principles that we can make connections to: simplicity, time, and headstrong. Which of the 3 extracts that I read most strongly resonated with you? You can let me know by leaving a comment in the comment box for this video. Okay. So these were my major insights from Investing is a Fascinating Business, an article that contained several key connections to the Sloth Investor's bedrock principles. You'll find a link to the original article in the description to this video. For those unfamiliar with the writing of Morgan Housel, I recommend his fantastic book, The Psychology of Money, which has now sold over 2 million copies. You'll find a link to the book in the description to this video. In episode 16 of the Sloth Investor Podcast, I discussed key takeaways from this book with my co-host Jay. Moreover, in episode 20, we discuss why Morgan Housel is worthy of inclusion in the Sloth Investor Hall of Fame. You'll find the links to both of these videos in the description to this video. If you enjoyed this bite-sized video, then you may want to check out my bite-sized Bogle and bite-sized Buffett playlists. You'll find the links to both of these playlists in the description to this video. To keep up to date with the latest content from the Sloth Investor, whether this be my book reviews, my podcast, or other video content, please remember to subscribe to this channel.